Let me tell you a couple of stories, man. This is going to be interesting. Well, it's interesting for me. Definitely when I spend a lot of time thinking about training, I definitely kind of think about these kind of moments in my life. So I've got a family friend who plays a lot of piano, a lot of keyboard. It's his hobby. Spends a lot of time practicing. This guy used to put in 3-4 hours kind of on a free day, easily kind of straight, just kind of drinking a beer and playing this keyboard, mixing music and all that sort of stuff. And I remember as a kid watching him, he would just play like day in, day out, it would seem. Like when he had days off work, he would just play like non-stop. And I remember specifically watching him play this keyboard and thinking to myself, man, look at those forearms, man. Literally every single flexor, every single extensor of his forearm was like on view. Like big, chunky, muscle fibers running through his forearms. This dude didn't do any weights, man. Don't get it twisted, man. He didn't do any sort of like weights that we kind of attribute to, forearm gains, like forearm curls, extensions, all that sort of stuff. Never did any rowing, nothing like this. He would just play the keyboard. He was active with his hands, so his day job was kind of like a laborer, right? He would, work on cars, work on whatever landscaping or whatever. He would just kind of do a lot of stuff with his hands, and his forearms were humongous. I remember at one point looking at his forearms, they were bigger than his upper arm. Okay? I'll tell you another story. My brother, he was kind of in between jobs. He was looking for work, and he did some kind of labor work as well. He was basically demolishing houses. His tool was basically the crowbar, or the pinch bar, whatever they used to call it. He did that for a few months until he kind of got another job. Got it through a friend or whatever, and he started doing that. I remember one night he came over, we were having dinner, and so he'd worked the day, and I looked at his forearms, and I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, man, look at these forearms. And he started giggling to me. He said, man, there's nothing like a pinch bar, nothing like a crowbar to grow your forearms. He's like, everything I do is like, with the crowbar in my hand, I have to like pull things off, rip things off. It's just all day. I'm pulling on things, pushing on things, grabbing it with my hands. My brother never really lifted weights at this point. He was a skinny guy. And he also, I remember one point, he had bigger forearms than his upper arm. So these are both skinny guys. Another story. I remember speaking to a mechanic, and I was looking at his forearms as well. Now, you got to think I'm a creep looking at people's forearms, but when you spend a lot of time training, this is like going back like 10 years basically. When you spend a lot of time training, you kind of like look at people and you kind of see, okay, this guy's got a big back or whatever. Like you're always thinking about training. You're always kind of picking up some of these attributes that people have. I actually asked this mechanic, I'm like, man, is this just genetic? Do you have these forearms like all the time? He's like, yeah, man. Like I've been a mechanic ever since I've been 16 years old, and I've never known to have smaller forearms. Like everything I do, I have to kind of like twist screws on, screws off, like lift things and all that. The reason I've told you these 3 stories is because of this. Periodization is a thing that man came up with to confuse everybody. It is useful, but we are going stupid with it. Absolutely stupid with it. It's good to think about the science behind these things, but don't get it twisted, man. Don't spend more time thinking than doing. Thinking should supplement the doing, not the other way around. These people didn't periodize their training to give their forearms a bit of a rest. They just got on with it, man. They didn't think about overtraining. They didn't think about injury. They didn't think about any of these things. They just got on with it. When it got difficult, when they can't go anymore, they stopped. They didn't count reps. They didn't count sets. They rocked up every single day and they went to work. Okay? So, a lot of us, I heard somebody say this to me the other day. A lot of us spend too much time thinking. I'm one of them. I like to think about this stuff because it's my hobby. I like to work things out. I like to find variables which are at play, which are causing some of these adaptations. So I have an intellectual side that kind of pulls me towards thinking about all these things because I actually want to work out it. I want to work out the it portion of my training. I want to work out absolute minimalist approach to training. It is my dream that all I could do is squat and nothing else, and I could be a big ass squatter. I would love that. However, I've tried that and it does not work. So I'm looking behind corners, under tables, under squat racks, under plates. I'm looking everywhere for different things. And I don't take anybody's word for it. I've listened to a lot of you guys, tell me things that I've tried these things. Don't get me wrong. I don't like to blow you guys off. But I don't take it as gospel until I've implemented it, tried it, and I just kind of like think to myself, does this make sense? Look at the training log, look at the progress, with what's happening here. I try to kind of work things out. So that's that part of it. But to think that we are working too hard or that we need to do this or that, like doing is number one. I catch myself thinking about this and telling you guys about this all the time. I don't want to hear about overtraining. I don't want to hear about any of this. I've spoken about farmer strength. Nobody told my grandfather not to train every day. Nobody told my grandfather not to work every single day on the fields. He just has to do it, man. The cows are not going to feed themselves, man. The field is not going to take care of itself. You have to get out there and do it. And my grandfather was a tough man. He doesn't know the definition of overworking. If he was here today, God rest his soul, he would laugh at me and our generation. We are talking about over freaking training. We are so mentally weak now from all this thinking that we just try to define everything and we're like, oh no, there's a optimal threshold for work. Man, get the hell out of here, man. Squatting, 1 times body weight, 2 times body weight, all of a sudden we're overworking. Just get on with it. If you can't lift a heavy weight, drop the weight, do that weight. If you can't lift that, do the bar. If you can't do the damn bar, do some body weight squats. I can do body weight squats while sleeping. It is so cheap on recovery points, it's ridiculous. In fact, I'm thinking to myself, these body weight squats are actually adding recovery points to the mix. I feel like I recover easier when I do these damn things, man. So there's something about just movement, unloaded movement, that's kind of like beneficial to us. It's just a crazy thought. While I was doing these sets of 30 today with 40 kilos, I thought to myself, man, I sometimes think about history. I think about my grandparents. I think about how hard they work, man. This is shameful, man. Some of these conversations that we have in the comments, squat every day, shameful. Our generations are getting mentally more and more weak as we progress, man. It's just, I just can't stop but think about this, man. We're just so damn precious now, man. So damn precious. Everything's automated. Hit a button, window opens. Hit a button, the heat warms up. Hit a button, the steering wheel warms up. Go on an app, somebody delivers you food. Don't even have to get up, make yourself food. I'm sure there's going to be an app one day that people are going to rock up and toilet you. They're going to rock up with a freaking commode chair, pop you on the commode chair, you're going to take a shit, and they'll take the commode chair away. You bet that's going to happen in the next 20, 30 years. People are going to toilet you. Uber's going to bring you food, and Uber's going to take your waste away. You book it. And then we're going to have more conversations about how we're overworked. Overworked for what, man? I'm a nurse, man. What's overworking? Okay, mentally I'm overworked, I would say. More than my grandfather, because 50 million people talking to me, 50 million patients wanting different things. But physically, get out of here, man. Go do another damn set. Pissing me off. So I catch myself sometimes thinking about this workload, this stuff. Oh, I'm doing 5 sets of 30. That's 150 repetitions of work. There's nothing to talk about here, man. Just do the damn work. Come back tomorrow and do it again. Sub 50 programming, the way I'm doing it right now, seems to be so damn cheap on recovery, man. It is the weights above 70, 75% that tax me. All this other stuff, it feels like the body's asking for more. The blood is circulating, nutrients are coming in, waste products are going out, I'm feeling fresher, I'm feeling looser, my squat form is improving, I'm getting more range of motion at the bottom. This is all because I'm moving more. Nothing hurts on me, man. My hip feels like I can freaking split squat 500 kilos. That's how strong my hip feels right now. And all this time, all I really had to do is piss off out of that golden freaking rep range and do some light shit. And my pain would have disappeared a year ago. But no, I continued listing the optimal rep range for training was 70 to 85%. You got to spend all of your life there. Die by the damn sword. It's not like that, man. There's a lot of value in doing absolutely no weight. And there's a lot of people in our history, modern documented history, who have basically showed us this. So take my word for it, do some bodyweight squats and you'll be better off for it. And stop thinking about overtraining. This is absolutely non-event. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.